Hi, everyone. Welcome to what I promised. This is the intro to the whole class video where we'll go over the syllabus and we'll go over that kind of stuff. And then there will be a lecture video later as well. At the time of recording this video, the lecture video is not recorded yet, but that's the kind of ideas that you'll have these videos. Anyway, so first and foremost, I want to show you our Blackboard page. A good number of you have already taken a class with us here at EC3, so this should be familiar. But if not, this is our Blackboard page. This is what you're seeing outside of my image. But so honestly, the Blackboard page is really important to note a couple things. Number one, please see course faculty, Mary Howells. That is our student success coach. She is also our librarian and whatnot here at the college. So Mary is a big help to a lot of people. Please feel free to reach out to her if you have questions, but she is not the teacher. I am the teacher, Mr. Wheaton. You don't see my name show up there only because I technically have admin access for Blackboard. All that means is that my name doesn't show up there. But I am in this class. I am running it. So if you have questions about the class itself, please ask me first, and then you can ask Mary. Anyway, this is what our Blackboard looks like, and there are 3 areas that each Blackboard here at EC3 has. The start here, I always tell you to check here. If you watched my About Me video, that was in there. So is the syllabus, and so are the textbooks that we're using. They're all digital ebooks. We will talk about the readings here in just a second. But all that information is here. If you click on the syllabus, it opens up a separate page, and you can see it'll have the whole syllabus here. You can view it here, or you can click this button and download it. But we're actually going to spend a time talking about the syllabus, so for now, we're going to move on. Course-specific content, I want to emphasize for you all, this folder is for things that will be relevant throughout the entire class, not just one week or the other. So right now, there's a link to the library page for us. There is a link to the OWL Purdue MLA and APA, which we'll talk about here in like 2 weeks, I think. And then there's a assessment phrases English Comp 1, and I'll talk about that when it becomes relevant. But it's one of those, these are things that aren't necessarily related to 1 week. It's related to the overall class. And then, of course, there's the weekly folders. And so each week there will be a folder in Blackboard for you for that week. So this is week 1. So this is the folder that's available, week 1. When week 2 becomes available, they'll both be week 1 and week 2. So you'll have to go down to the next one. So in the folder, it'll always roughly be designed like this, where you'll have the intro video at the top of the folder. Then you will have the readings in a separate folder. So literally, in the start here, these are the larger textbooks. And by all means, you can scroll through them and see if there's anything more specifically. But for this class, I give you the direct links to those particular readings for you. Okay? So all these readings, this is what is for week 1. Okay? So that's the readings folder, and then underneath the readings will always be the assignments. So journal entry 1 is the only thing that's due this week, and it's what I want to learn more about, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. And then you will always see the lecture. At time of recording, there's a storm starting. So anyway, please note, there's Intro to Research, Research Questions, and Essay number 13, PPTX. So this is the PowerPoint. And completely seriously, this is the notes. I'm giving you my notes. So when I teach this in person, I usually just use a whiteboard. I don't use PowerPoints. So the PowerPoints are literally the versions of my notes. So you have all the information. The difference is I talk about all this stuff. But each week will be a presentation, which will have all of this stuff in it. And what's important to note about this, and why I give this right away first week before we dive into it, is the lecture video itself will be just the PowerPoint, but there will be a video on YouTube of me going through the PowerPoint step by step, slide by slide, talking about important content, giving examples, anything like that. So in the folder itself, you will always have the notes, and then you will also have a link to the lecture video as well. Okay? That's how those always work. And journals, I said in my little brief weekly intro video, these are informal, but right here, when you click on a journal, you go to start it, and here we go. Use this journal entry as a focused free write, using the free write technique described in our Introduction to Research module, which is what we're going to talk about in the lecture video for today. But I want you to begin with the prompt, I want to learn more about, and I want you to keep going. List things out, jump from one thing to another. I don't care, but I want you to kind of start thinking about what you want to learn more about. And the big hint behind that, and what we'll talk about in the lecture video, is this is going to be the start of you finding your research subject for the whole paper, which is my segue to say, all right, that's Blackboard. Let's talk about the syllabus. All right. So, first and foremost, if you've taken a class with us before, this should be fairly familiar to you. If not, welcome to EC3. We have standard syllabi. Faculty have to have some particular pieces there, and that's what we're going to be looking at right now. So my name is Mr. Wheaton. This is an online course, and it's weekly, so you have the entire week from Monday till Sunday. And I'm telling you this now in my class, in particular. Content goes up on Monday. I try to make some things available Sunday night, but content goes live Monday. And you have all the way until the following week, Sunday, to turn in work. Okay? There's a few things that I have due on Fridays, and we will talk about that when we get there. But every assignment, you have their due dates starting now. Okay? The goal here is you have a week to do the content, and you can also reach out to me at any point during that week. So please note, office hours, because it's a summer course, it's by appointment. I am not necessarily in the physical office over the summer. I'm actually in multiple different places. So if you need to meet in person, which we do usually at our West Campus in room 215, I'd be glad to do that, but it'll definitely have to be by an appointment. If it can be virtual, we still need to kind of set an appointment. But I am more than willing to meet with you around your schedule, okay? I know it's a summer course. I know it's an online course, and I know you kind of do things at your own pace. So if you need to meet at 8 o'clock on a Friday evening, I can do that. We just need to set that time beforehand, okay? So the two ways to contact me is I do have an office phone number. I'll tell you right now, it is a Teams number, so it doesn't ring to a physical phone. It rings to my Teams computer, which is my computer at work. So if you call that number, it won't necessarily get to me right away. I tried setting it up. Sometimes it forwards it to my cell phone. Sometimes it doesn't. It's unreliable at best. So I say, honestly, your best bet is emailing me over calling, but if you do need to emergency call, give that phone number a call. There is a 50-50 chance that Teams will forward that call to my cell phone, and then I'll get it, okay? But otherwise, email me. Emailing is the best way to get a hold of me. And my email is awheaton2@ec3pa.org, okay? Super easy. So, course description, this is what's in the catalog. This is nothing surprising or new. This is what a school sees when they look at it. It doesn't mean anything to you. The bigger piece here is the student learning objectives. This is by the time that you finish this class, you should be able to do these things. The text, you have to take 101 to take 102, so that's not a surprise. But here's the thing that people care about. So, assignment totals and grades. So, the point of English Comp 2 is to write a research paper, an academic research paper. So, because that's the goal, that is the majority of the points for this class. It's 75% of the grade. So, the grade in this class is actually a weighted grade, which means that some assignments are worth more than others. We're going to talk about that in just a second. So essay 1 is the proposal, at least 3 pages in length. I urge you to go to about 4 if you can, but research proposals, 10% of the grade. Annotated bibliography, where you have at least 10 sources, is worth 15%. Critical analysis, which is at least 4 pages, is 20%. And the final research paper, at least 6 pages, is worth 30%. We will get there, I promise you. Do not panic about that. But, so yeah, 75% of the total grade is these 4 essays. Okay? 4 essays. Not too bad. All right, 15% of the total grade is the homework / journals. You will see there's a journal every week. So it's as long as you're doing them, you should be fine. And the homework, most of it is the journal. There might be 1 or 2 one-offs that are small assignments, but I will let you know as they come up, okay? And then peer review. We are going to do a peer review. It's going to be worth 10% of the grade. We'll talk about it. It's only for the last assignment. We're going to wait until we get closer to it. Don't worry about it. I will talk through it before we do it. All assignments should be typed double-spaced in, and honestly, I say 12-point size, readable font. Honestly, I'm pretty lenient on this as long as it's a typical normal font and it's readable. I don't care if it's 11, 10, 12, or 13 point font. I don't care as long as it's not unreasonable and extra large and things like that. If it looks professional, we're good. But this is true. Pages should be numbered and your last name should be on every page in the header. And then everything is submitted to Blackboard in either PDF or Word format. I can't read pages. It doesn't open up for me. So PDF or Word. Grading scale here at the school is pretty standard. It's a 10-point scale. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and anything 59% and below is an F. Communication guidelines, best way to reach out to me is via email. I do my best to respond within 24 hours. If you email me in the middle of the night, please note that I probably will not respond until the next day, or rather that following day after the morning has fully passed, that kind of thing. So if you email me at 2 a.m., it's more than likely I won't respond until like 10 a.m. That's being honest, okay? So keep that in mind. Respect agreement. Some of the readings are not challenging, but some of the readings have strong bias one way or the other. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion. Don't come at it someone else, especially since we're doing a peer review for the last assignment. I really don't want people getting angry and yelling at each other. Like, people are entitled to their opinions, okay? Leave them alone. Harassment policy, don't harass people. The mission is pretty standard. It's what the school says. The code of conduct. You have rules you have to follow. Here they are. You can find them at the Code of Conduct Handbook that's available on the website. Attendance expectations and class cancellations. This is an online summer class. This is the standard language that we use in general, but for your purposes, there is not really an attendance expectation or class cancellation. In other words, there will never be a canceled class for an online summer class. However, I want to mention what attendance looks like in this class. Attendance is logging in at least weekly and turning in your journal entries. That is your attendance. That is how I I identify if you are actually still working in the class or you are missing. Okay? So, yeah, if you fall behind on turning in a paper, that's one thing. But those weekly journals, that's my way of seeing that you are attending class. Then you would just not disappeared. Okay? So, that's how we're going to measure that. Academic integrity. Don't cheat. That's all it is. Don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. Don't cheat. We will talk about citation and plagiarism in a couple weeks when we talk about the act of research and finding sources and using them. We'll talk about it then. But I want you to know that cheating and plagiarism is a serious offense in academia, and cheating and getting caught cheating is serious enough in school to fail and potentially be kicked out. So don't do it, okay? And then we have to say this, because AI, the acceptable use of generative AI. Generative AI is here. ChatGPT, Copilot, they're all here. And some people are using them, some people aren't. Some people are using them really well, some people are struggling. Using the generative AI itself is not inherently wrong or bad. The way you use it matters. So what I'll say is, this is a whole big policy, and I'm not going to read through every piece of it, but my big thing on AI is this. You can use it to assist you. You can use it to help you. You can use it to help come up with ideas, to help you narrow down ideas, fine-tune ideas. You can use it to help translate if translation from a previous language, one language to English is an issue. I'm fine with that. Those are legitimate uses of AI. What is not an acceptable use of AI is to ask it to write your paper for you. Using AI to find your sources for you is not the right way to use AI. I say this because using AI to find your resources, historically, and I do mean even within the last 3 weeks, generative AI is continuing to make up sources. And if you think that your professor is not going to source and fact check your sources for a research paper, you're wrong. That's part of my job. It's what I'm paid to do. So, yeah, I would not use ChatGPT or Copilot to do your research because it's going to make up sources. And if I can't find that source, we're going to have a problem, okay? But the bigger one that I see students use more often is having it write your essay. Don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. Don't have it write your own papers for you. Some important dates are here the withdrawal and incomplete dates. Obviously, the class began today. Last day to drop a class or add a class is Wednesday. Next week, Thursday, is the last day to drop with a 50% refund. And the last day to drop a class, which is actually withdrawal, is July 16th. A W grade does not impact your final grade, but an F will. So if you are absolutely going to fail before July 16th, it's better to withdraw than it is to get the F. Classes end on August 1st, and then final grades are due the week later. ADA statement, Veterans Services and Student Support statement is the standard that we have everywhere else. If you need accommodations, reach out to accommodations. If you're having an issue with Veteran Services or active duty, please reach out to advising. And if you're experiencing some kind of difficulty in shelter, food, etc., that's going to impact your education, reach out to a school counselor or myself, and we'll work with you and try to put you in touch with some kind of available service in your area. So if you're, here in Erie City proper, we'll connect you with city resources. If you're like in Harbor Creek or Mill Creek or Fairview or Girard, we'll try to put you in touch with services in that area as well. For tutoring or writing support services, reach out to our librarian, Mary Howells, who is our student success coach, as I already said. And then here's the last thing, and this is what everybody always cares the most about with the syllabus, is here is the dates. So you'll note the syllabus, week 1, go over syllabus, class expectations and schedule, introduction to research, essay 13, and the plan to privatize common knowledge and research questions. This will be the lecture video that we talk about. That'll be a separate video for. This is just to go over the syllabus and class expectations. Your homework for this week is journal entry 1 and read the readings in week 2 folder. I will open up the week 2 folder for the readings about midway through the week, so around Thursday. Okay? So then next week, week 2, planning your research and the topics, and 2 essays, essay 62 and essay 18, as well as another thing about thesis statements. And so the next week, you'll have journal entry 2 due and read the readings for week 3. And then the following week, Friday, so week 3, Friday, June 27th by 11:59 p.m., the proposal is due. Okay? This is why I said you get the due dates right away. This is first day of class, and you have all your due dates already. Annotated bibliography is due July 11th. There's no class on July 4th, so if you email me on July 4th, I'm not responding to it unless it's an absolute emergency. Critical analysis is due July 18th. Your working draft / rough draft of your research essay is due July 25th, and then the final is due Friday, August 1st, the last day of class. Okay? Please note, like I said, there's a journal due every week, but I want to emphasize this, and this is what I want to end with. Presentations due by Sunday, 8:23. I realized that my camera footage was probably covering it. Presentations due by Sunday, 8:03 by 11:59 p.m. Typically, I do a presentation component in this class, and I'm trying something new this time. Presentations are not mandatory for this class. They are bonus. After you've gone through all the work of making your essay and you've done your research, if you want to make a 3 to 5 minute presentation, it has to be within those guidelines, 3 to 5 minutes. But if you want to make a visual presentation where you present your research paper and what you learned, I'd be willing to give you anywhere between 10 and 20 bonus points to be added to your total grade. That's incentive. And that'll be due by the Sunday, August 3rd, after the semester ends. So you get 2 days after turning in everything to fine-tune and finish it, if you will. But that's it. My expectations for this class is you do your work. I say this every semester, every time I teach this class or any of my classes. It is harder to fail than it is to pass. If you do your work, you turn it in, and you ask questions when you're not sure, you cannot fail. Okay? My expectations is you will do the work and you will turn it in. And if you have questions, you will reach out. But that's it. I'm looking forward to this. I love teaching this class. I'm a weird English teacher. I love reading research papers. I learned so much. But yeah, I will see you officially in the first lecture video where I get to tell you a little bit about the actual research paper and what to expect. But thank you very much, and I'll see you in that video.